Downtown Richmond has charm, but it also has surprises. Some blocks feel like a postcard, others feel in transition. And the price? It might be more or less than you think. But if you're thinking about moving to the Richmond, Virginia area, you don't just want a pretty picture. You want to know what it actually feels like to live here. Today, we're doing a real driving tour through the heart of the city of Richmond, from the downtown business district to historic neighborhoods to modern hubs, breaking down what it actually feels like to live here, what kinds of homes you'll find, and what it costs to live close to all the culture. Hi, I'm Holly Fye, a local Richmond realtor who has lived in the Richmond metro area for my entire life. I've helped dozens of people just like you find their perfect fit and have over 30 five-star reviews to show what it's really like to work with me. If downtown or the city of Richmond in general is on your list, this video is going to give you a much clearer picture. Let's get into it. We are starting in Church Hill, which is hands down one of the most beautiful and historic parts of the Richmond area. Perched on a hill overlooking the city, it offers stunning views, some cobblestone streets, and some of the oldest homes in the Richmond area, dating back to the 1800s. You'll find a mix of lovingly restorative row homes, modern infill, and even some newer construction tucked between historic properties. Church Hill is great for people who love charm, history, and a tight-knit community vibe. It's also home to one of the city's best food scenes, with spots like the Roosevelt and Sub Rosa drawing people in from all over the city. Price-wise, it can range widely, but if you're drawn to character and curb appeal, it's absolutely worth a look. We are here in Libby Hill Park, and if this view looks familiar, it should. It's said to be the inspiration behind the naming of Richmond itself, because the view overlooking the James River reminded early settlers of Richmond in England. From here, you can see the river, the bridges, and even the downtown skyline. It's one of the best panoramic views in the entire city. But beyond the scenery, this park is where Church Hill comes to life. You'll find neighbors walking dogs, families having picnics, and local events popping up throughout the year. Whether you're an early riser looking for a peaceful spot with your coffee or someone who loves a good sunset, Libby Hill has this magical, quiet charm that makes it feel like home, even before you live here. Now we're heading just down a couple of blocks to St. Patrick's Church. This is St. Patrick's Catholic Church, a beautiful example of Gothic revival architecture tucked into Church Hill. It's a smaller parish with deep roots in the neighborhood, serving the local Catholic community since the 1850s. There also used to be an adjoining school, but that closed several years ago. And now we're going to walk right across the street to St. John's Church. This site is one of the most famous speeches in American history. In 1775, Patrick Henry stood inside and delivered his fiery "Give me liberty or give me death" speech, which helped push Virginia toward independence. Today, you can catch reenactments or take a guided tour. Even if you're not a history buff, it's pretty incredible to stand where so much of our nation's story began. Now we're heading down in Shockoe Bottom, one of the oldest parts of Richmond, and a neighborhood that's layered with history. This was once the heart of the city's commercial and industrial life. The cobblestone streets, old warehouses, and proximity to the James River made it a bustling trade hub back in the day. Today, those same warehouses have been transformed into trendy lofts, restaurants, and art spaces. You've got the 17th Street Market right here, one of the oldest public markets in the country, now reimagined as a pedestrian-friendly plaza that hosts events, food festivals, and live music. There's the Main Street Station right next door, that beautiful clock tower building you see, still an active train station and one of the city's most iconic landmarks. Something interesting to note is that there are a number of old factory and warehouse buildings in this area which have been transitioned into condos and apartment buildings. This is downtown Richmond, the business hub, home to high-rise living, VCU's medical campus, the Capitol, and a growing number of condos and lofts. If you want to be right in the middle of it all, with restaurants, rooftop bars, and street carts at lunchtime during the week, this might be for you. Here's Broad Street, one of our major arteries downtown, and you'll see a mix of new development and converted buildings. We're passing the VCU Medical Center campus and hospital right now. The Children's Hospital is just up ahead. So these are all buildings, for the most part, that MCV, or what's now VCU, owns. Here's the Children's Hospital, who has won a number of different awards over the year. Here's City Hall. And over on the other side of the road is where Capitol Square is. They have it blocked off today, so they must be doing something special or have some construction going on. You'll see the Library of Virginia here and a number of other state, federal, and city office buildings on the opposite side. We just passed the National, which is where a lot of live musical acts play. And here is the Miller and Rhodes department store that has been transitioned into luxury condominiums. It's really something to see. It's adjoined with the Hilton on the other side, and I believe residents have the access to the swimming pools. Now we are heading over to Main Street. This and Carey Street are also main thoroughfares through downtown Richmond in addition to Broad Street. So you're going to see the big high-rise office buildings mixed in with some smaller buildings. Some even look like houses because they used to be and were renovated into offices. Up here on the right is one of my favorite places in all of downtown Richmond, and arguably one of the most beautiful, the Jefferson Hotel. We'll stop here for a minute and I'll take you inside. The Jefferson Hotel is one of Richmond's crown jewels. It's more than just a hotel, it's a piece of living history. Built in 1895, the Jefferson was designed to bring luxury and elegance to Richmond, and over a century later, it's still doing exactly that. You'll feel it the moment you step inside. Soaring ceilings, grand staircases, marble columns, and a stained glass dome that makes you stop and just take it all in. And yes, there really were live alligators in the lobby fountain in the early 1900s. These days, it's more likely you'll find families celebrating milestones, couples enjoying afternoon tea, and even a celebrity or two passing through. Has anyone read the book Gone with the Wind? It was rumored that the grand staircase in the book was inspired by this one right here. Several movies have also been filmed here, like Lincoln. The Jefferson sits on the edge of Monroe Ward and downtown. It's a block to VCU, which is where we are heading next. Great restaurants and historic sites, but it offers a completely different kind of experience. It's one of those rare places where locals and visitors both feel at home. Whether you're just stopping in for brunch at La Mer, which will be delicious, by the way. I actually had my wedding reception here, and we try to come back every year for our anniversary dinner. The food is always amazing. If you are here around the holidays, you won't want to miss the giant tree and festive decor. My family and I always come here every Christmas just to look at the decorations. They are always stunning and have giant gingerbread houses. If you're looking for a taste of Richmond's elegance and a dash of Gilded Age drama, the Jefferson is where you'll find it. All right, now we're heading into the campus of Virginia Commonwealth University, or VCU for short. And this one's a little personal for me. I actually went here for both undergrad and grad school, so this part of town holds a lot of memories. I was a student at VCU. It was already growing and an energetic place to be. Now it's one of the largest universities in the state, known nationally for its art program, medical school, and research. As you can see, the campus blends right into the city. It's not walled off or tucked away. Instead, it's part of the rhythm of Richmond. As we drive through, you'll notice the mix of old and new, classic brick buildings next to sleek, modern glass ones like the Brand Center that we passed back there on the left. Colorful murals are everywhere. We are here on the weekend and at the very end of the semester, so most of the students have already left campus for the summer. But during the school year, there's definitely a lot of hustle and bustle going on for sure. And don't be surprised if you see students zipping by on bikes or hanging out at Monroe Park. You've got the Institute for Contemporary Art anchoring the corner of Broad at Belvedere, adding some serious architectural wow. The Siegel Center is also up on Broad Street, which is where the VCU basketball games take place if you're a college basketball fan. Over on Carey, you have another one of VCU's gyms, which I remember when that opened. VCU's new School of Engineering and School of Business is back on the other side of Belvedere, and a number of dorms and parking garages and sports fields and more are scattered throughout. The neighborhoods surrounding the campus are super popular, especially if you're looking for an investment property where your child can live while they're attending school here. The Fan and Oregon Hill to the west, Jackson Ward and Monroe Ward to the northeast, and they're filled with row houses, apartments, and colorful corner cafes. I've helped a number of clients over the years find just the right spot. We are now heading into the Fan. The Fan is one of Richmond's most iconic and beloved neighborhoods, and yes, it's named after the way the streets fan out, a design that's just as charming as it is historic. This is one of those neighborhoods that really makes people fall in love with Richmond. Picture tree-lined streets, colorful row houses with wide front porches, intricate woodwork, and those beautiful old leaded glass windows. Every home has its own personality, and no two blocks look quite the same. But the Fan isn't just pretty to look at, it's full of life. There's a cozy, almost European rhythm here. You've got locally owned coffee shops, neighborhood corner markets, small wine bars, and some of Richmond's best restaurants, all tucked into residential blocks. Spots like Joe's Inn, Cuba Cuba, and Strawberry Street Cafe. This restaurant actually used to have a bathtub salad bar. You'll find everything from one-bedroom apartments and converted mansions to lovingly restored townhomes that date back to the early 1900s. You'll see here behind me an old high school. This is actually where I went to high school, St. Gertrude's. The school has been moved in recent years to Goochland County, and the building has been transformed into apartments. It looks like the rent ranges from $3,800 a month to over $7,000 a month. You can buy one heck of a house for that each month. One of my favorite things about the Fan is that it's so close to both VCU and the Museum District. You're just minutes from cultural hotspots like the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, the Science Museum, and even the Bird Theater over in Carytown. If you're dreaming of a neighborhood that blends charm, tucked away local spots, and personality, the Fan is where you'll find it. All right, now we're heading just a bit southwest of the Fan into one of Richmond's most peaceful and picturesque treasures, Maymont. And let me tell you, this part of the city feels like a breath of fresh air, literally. At the center of it all is Maymont Park, a 100-acre historic estate that's free and open to the public. It's the kind of place that makes you slow down. There's a mansion you can tour, rolling hills, Japanese and Italian gardens, and a petting zoo, wildlife exhibits, and even a waterfall. I've spent so many weekends here as a kid, as a student, and now as a mom. It's just one of those places that always feels magical, no matter how many times you visit. The neighborhoods around Maymont have been evolving over the years too. You'll find a mix of charming bungalows, brick ranchers, and some newer construction popping up, especially as people realize how close you are to everything. The river, downtown, the Fan, and major roadway. It's a bit quieter and more residential than other spots we've toured so far, which makes it ideal for folks looking for that city-suburb blend. You'll often see people walking dogs, jogging through the park, or pushing strollers under the shade trees. And even though it feels tucked away, you're still just minutes from breweries, restaurants, and coffee shops over at Bird Park or Scott's Addition. Maymont is one of those hidden gems that's close to the action, but lets you step out of the hustle when you need to. If you're the kind of person who wants green space, river access, and a sense of calm, this might just be your spot. Another option for you is Browns Island and the riverfront. If you've never seen the James River cut right through the middle of a city before, you're in for something special. Browns Island is this incredible mix of nature, history, and city life all in one place. It's a popular green space tucked between the James River and downtown. And on sunny days, it's buzzing with people. You've got runners, folks on bikes, families pushing strollers, musicians playing under trees, and people just soaking in the views. It's also home to concerts, festivals, and Friday cheers in the summer. It's one of Richmond's longest running live music traditions. And then there's the T. Tyler Potterfield Memorial Bridge, or as locals call it, the Teapot. This pedestrian bridge connects Browns Island to the south bank of the river, and the views are just incredible. You're literally over rapids, surrounded by skyline views, historic ruins, and soaring birds. It's one of those places that makes you stop and remember why people fall in love with this city. Living near the riverfront gives you the best of both worlds. City energy with natural beauty right in your backyard. You'll find loft-style apartments and converted tobacco warehouses, modern condos with skyline views, and historic row homes just a few blocks away. Places like the Canal Walk and the Capitol Trail make this area perfect for people who love to stay active or just want a pretty route to their morning coffee. If your dream is to live in a place where you can kayak after work, bike on the weekends, and be a few blocks from a concert downtown, this is absolutely where you want to be. As we wrap up this tour, I want to share a quick story that's really stuck with me and shows why having the right person by your side can make all the difference when you're making a move. A while back, I got a message from a couple who was relocating from Florida. Like a lot of folks, they were overwhelmed, not just by the process of moving states, but by trying to figure out which part of Richmond felt like them. They'd watched some of my YouTube videos and have reached out just to talk things through. No pressure, no hard sales pitch, just someone to help them start sorting it all out. We met up during one of their trips to explore RVA, and from the start, it was clear they were looking for more than just a house. They wanted a life that felt grounded, joyful, and right for this next chapter. I gave them a list of spots to check out, not just listings, but parks, restaurants, neighborhoods with personality, because each part of Richmond has its own vibe, and I wanted them to experience it for themselves. When the market got tough and offers didn't land, we paused. We went back to the drawing board, dug into what they really wanted, and focused in. Eventually, I found a place I just knew would check their boxes, even if they couldn't be there in person. So I did a video tour, walked the whole property, and yes, even climbed out to the shed to make sure it looked good. They put in an offer sight unseen, and when they finally stepped foot in their new home, they cried. Happy tears. Tears of relief, of gratitude, of knowing they'd found the right place and trusted the right person to help them get there. And that's what this is all about. Helping you not just find a house, but find a place that feels like home. Moving to a new city can feel overwhelming. You might be wondering if the neighborhood truly fits your lifestyle, or if you're about to overpay for something that looks better online than it feels in person. That's where I come in. Whether you're searching for a historic row home in the Fan, a modern loft around BCU for your college student, a quiet spot with skyline views in Church Hill, or maybe somewhere in one of the suburbs, I'm here to make your move to Richmond as smooth and strategic as possible. Call me at the number below and let me help you find the perfect place to call home in RVA.